how has everybody been? I know we are all have in some weird times right now, facing different things, varied things. How is everybody doing? I'm trying to take it all in stride, you know. I hope you are doing the same, and you and your loved ones are doing well, keeping safe. We have to watch the news, but don't watch it too much until you get overwhelmed. Take breaks when you need to, and take care of yourself. We have to remember to do that. There's a lot going on around us, and we have to take care of ourselves. All right, so I am going to start. You would have, I hope you guys saw the post that we made today that was telling you about what tonight's topic is. We are really talking about workshops. We have been talking about it a little bit. Hi, Brittany. We have been talking about it a little bit over the past week or so, like really trying to focus on workshops and how you use them, when to use them. So I wanted to go live so we can talk about it and I can answer any questions you might have. So before I go any further, I always have to tell everyone who I am. I am Alex Green. I'm the CEO here at Spike, and Spike is a customer experience strategy firm. We are really interested in keeping your customers happy and your bottom line happy. So we use different tools and strategies to ensure your customer experience is top notch, so your customers will like you, you will retain them, and they will be loyal and you will grow. So that's what we do here at Spike, and we have many different ways to do that depending on what is going on in your company. Also, I'm sure some of you know that we have CX Unlocked, which is an online tool that you can use conveniently 24/7. All you have to do is go online on our website at www.getthespike.com, subscribe, and then you can you'll get access to more stuff. Hi Santana, hi Yardi Cosmetics. All right, so as I said, we are talking about workshops this evening. So the first thing I want to say is that we are not over here trying to bash workshops, okay? Workshops are necessary. We do workshops. Workshops are good, and you actually need to schedule them because there is turnover at any business. So you need to have workshops at regular intervals to keep your staff together. However, we just wanted to point out that workshops on their own does not do the trick when it comes on to customer experience. And we found that a lot of persons who we get in contact with, they do a lot of workshops, or they are really interested in getting workshops done, and they are used to that, but they are not thinking about the broader topic. So one thing I must mention up front is that, you know, customer experience is a business discipline on its own. It's not just being polite or having good manners and reinforcing that we have to work as a team. Like, those things are good and those things are necessary, but that's not all there is to it. So therefore, we have to have processes in place. We have to have systems in place to make sure that everything is going as it should go, and we are building momentum. I don't know if you guys saw a post we made. I think it was on Monday. We made the post where we spoke about Spike and how, and the process we have. Hi Tiana, hi Tash, hi Yannick, hi Dion. Nice of you to join me tonight. I appreciate it. So yes, we spoke about our process here, where we do service analysis, process development, and implementation. And in implementation, that is where we talk about workshops and other strategies. So what we really try to enforce is that, or try to bring home to you, is that we don't always, you won't know exactly what you need to do the workshop in if you're not doing any analysis. Sometimes what we see up front and what we feel is what is necessary may not be exactly what is necessary. And that is why here at Spike we do service analysis. Sometimes we do a secret shopper type of thing. Sometimes we may be surveying your staff. We will do a variety of things to try to get an idea of what is happening for your staff, what is happening for your customers, and so we will know what is necessary and what tools we need to implement. So that is why we don't necessarily go ahead with workshops just off the top. We do understand though that everyone has a different scenario. That is why we don't try to just give a one quick fix for everyone, because companies are at different stages, and perhaps you have things in place already and you want to do a workshop. We will facilitate for you, we will plan it for you, and we will execute. But at all times we are going to tell you what we think is best based on what we see happening, and follow up with you to ensure that things are going well. We are not the type of company who is just going to execute and leave you stranded. We actually want to see the results come through for our clients. So that is our stance on that. Any questions so far? Hi guys, nice to have you on tonight. I wish I could see your faces. So we asked a few questions in the post, like how do you know you're doing the right workshop, and how do you know that the workshop is effective if you didn't have any KPIs or you didn't have any standards in place. And after you do the workshop, if there were no processes or no guidelines or no goals given to your staff, what are they going to follow through on? What is it that they're going to hold on to? What is it that you're going to hold them to ensure that the things you're trying to instill actually hold fast? Remember, we're always saying that it's not just about how you feel. It's not always about what you're going to say right now. Like, there are a lot of things that goes into it. So you have to do the work before you see the result. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, and we can't put the cart before the horse. We can't put the cart before the horse. I want you to remember that. So, as I was saying just now, like, what is the workshop tied to? So, is the workshop going to be tied to this goal that you have in mind that your staff already knows about? Is it tied to performance improvement that is company wide or specific to this one group? What are you hoping to achieve in the long term and in the short term, and how are we going to measure it? It can't just be a feeling, because if it is a feeling, then you never know if you have achieved it, and everyone has a different perception, and a lot of us get into that, and it is kind of natural for persons to get into that, and it's something that we have to continuously talk through and work out, so we actually have things that are less relative and less subjective, but things that are measurable and objective. So we give things a measurement. We have something that we can hold on to. So that is step one. Sometimes it is difficult, but we can get there. So I wanted to keep that in mind. How many of us on live right now have been through workshops, whether it be for customer service, customer experience, or something else that our companies have mandated that we do? How many of us have been to workshops? I have been to quite a few. And sometimes it's not my taste or my style, but we go, right? We have these workshops that we have to go to. And how many of us can say that today we can remember something from the workshop, or we put it into practice because it was tied to something? Or how many of us would say it is effective, or did it just leave us with a feel-good moment? From my experience, is a lot of it was a feel-good moment, and yes, I had a good time, and sometimes it is necessary to do things just to motivate your staff or for team building purposes, or but for the most part, I'm sure these things need to have a lasting effect. So we need to ensure that there is something behind it. We're not just pulling a workshop idea out of the hat because somebody felt like this is what we needed right now. Also, sometimes what management feels needs to happen and the feedback you get from staff is very different, and then we would need to communicate with the staff, with management, what exactly is happening. Maybe their analysis of the situation is not real. That's how they feel, but that's not what is coming from staff. Because as all of us know, all of us have been employees at some point, or reported to someone, or were in a capacity where we were not the boss. and you don't always feel comfortable telling the boss everything or how things affect you. It's not always that kind of situation. So you will find, even though bosses may be saying things that consultants, firms like ours say, the reception is different, just because the employee knows that persons like me cannot penalize them in any way. So sometimes it is important for you to get someone from the outside, if you are the supervisor or you are the manager, etc., because you will get a better flow of information. You will actually get to know what's going on with your staff, the feedback they are getting from others, and be able to do the thing that will reap the best rewards for you in your current situation. So that is a lot of what is behind us saying that the workshops are not good enough on their own. Crystal, you're saying it's mostly feel good workshops. Yes, mostly feel good workshops for me as well. So if any of you want to tell me more about your workshop experiences, or have any of you been doing any online? I know there have been a lot of webinars since we've been in this COVID situation. A lot of us have taken part in webinars, and we have had webinars as well. One thing that we do when we have sessions like these is to try to keep them small, so persons are able to interact more similar to how we would be able to interact in person. In person can bring a lot more than online most times, but we have found ways to lessen the gap between what you can do in person and what you can do online. And one way is to actually allow people the opportunity to talk to you, to voice their opinions, ask their questions, and for it to be a more intimate group, and so you can therefore get more out of it. Hi Nadia, how are you? Hi Stephen. The power of short works too. Yes, the power of short, and we have definitely utilized that. If you have ever taken a look at our CX Unlocked programs, we did a lot of research before we do our programs, because we don't want them we want them to be effective. We want persons to actually get from it what we are intending for them to get from it, and we want it to be practical so that you can actually go ahead and use it in your business, so you can see the results that you want to see. So we know no one really wants to sit down and listen to somebody like me just standing in front of you talking eternally. But cartoons, animations are far more appealing, and if it's short, that's even better. We live in a world of 15-second Instagram reels, snap, everything. Nobody wants to sit down for a long time. So we have used that in our delivery systems as well. So we have a workshop on Wednesdays for customer service on social media. And when we do those workshops, of course they are online. We keep it to a group of no more than 10 persons at a time, because we want to allow persons to talk to us, give their examples. We can play videos, we can do whatever it takes for it to be interactive, for you to actually get what you need from the session, and you're able to use it in your business. Liberty is saying, just completed online training conference that I found much more beneficial than in-person conference I've been to. That's excellent. What kind of conference was that? That is great. I mean, it is convenient, because a lot of us would have experienced by now that you're able to continue doing what you're doing in your own space while you're listening. So you're able to maximize on that. So that is also good. Hi, Tammy. Tend to focus more since you are in your own space without distractions. I get you. I take your points. I do take your points. The only disadvantage is that a lot of times facilitators are used to doing activities where people would be interacting with each other. Of course, we found different activities, but it's just what people have become accustomed to. So now that we're online, even though we may have things that people in a sense do together, it's a little bit different, but I am sure still impactful. I'm really glad you had that good experience. Hi BJ, how are you? Right, so I was mentioning that we do those workshops on a Wednesday evening. You can click in our bio to see more about it, where we talk about customer service on social media. And the persons who have participated in that workshop have really given us some good reviews so far. It's really been effective for them, and we're really happy for that. So if you ever want to take advantage of it, just go ahead and click the link in the bio so we can talk about it. Tend to focus more since you're in your own space. Hi Tashane, how are you? Right. So I wonder if any of you have any questions for me with regards to workshops that you have been to or workshops that you are interested in. Let us know, because we're always looking to expand or change things to ensure that we are meeting the needs of our customers as well. So of course we like to hear from you and use your feedback, and we encourage everyone to listen to the feedback from their customers and ensure that you have avenues for them to provide this feedback for you, so you can always be improving to meet their needs, meet them where they are at all times. So I think I touched on a little bit earlier, how are you determining the workshop that you need? Many times what has happened with us is we may go somewhere, one of our team members, someone sees one of us and starts engaging us about our services, etc. While we're there, of course, because of the nature of our business, we might be picking up on things in relation to the service that's being offered to us right then and there, because it has become second nature. But many times when we start asking questions of the owners or managers we are interacting with, they don't necessarily want to pay attention to the questions that we're asking. They want to skip ahead to tell us what they want. And of course, that is something we have to manage and know how to navigate those conversations. But I just want to let everyone know that, we have to pay attention to the questions. We have to ask those questions, because we just can't run ahead to put a solution, pay money, put in a solution, and the solution is not actually hitting the problem that you are having. And we have to see what is going on with your staff. Is it that your staff is unhappy for other reasons why they are not behaving how you would prefer them to? Or is it that they really are just unaware of what you want them to do? Is it that you have processes or guidelines, rules, standards that they are aware of and they're just not doing it because they don't see the value of it? Or is it that these standards or what you would like are just in your head? It hasn't been communicated to them formally. It's not something that they have been able to go over or understand how it relates to their job or their performance reviews, etc. So those are things, they may seem small, but they have a lasting impact. So we have to ask these questions. We have to do our due diligence, because it is always our intention to see our clients get from their current state to their ideal state. And we always mention about the customer service experience being a journey. It's not something that's just going to, we did this thing and it's going to be great. It's always a journey. So even if we do a workshop today, we need to be following up to see, what happened since we did that workshop. What were the goals that we outlined for that workshop, and what has happened now? Are there any changes in the circumstances, and do we need to make any tweaks here and there? So that is why at Spike, we like to partner with our clients. We don't just want to come in and do a workshop here today. We have a retainer process, and we work with you over a course of time, depending on whatever we have negotiated, because nothing happens just at once. So we work with you over time. We don't try to get you to pay us a big lump sum of money at the top. We're not trying to do that. We work with you over time, and based on the milestones that we agree on, then payments are aligned like that. So sometimes we might be doing a workshop here today. We may be working with managers on this other thing tomorrow. We may be doing things in-house at Spike to present to you and give to you at another time for you to. So right, we may be doing it like that. So, another thing I wanted to point out, sometimes too, our potential clients may come to us wanting to do a workshop, but we always try to find out from our clients, what is your current process? What is the current process that you are engaged in, right? And how many persons does it take to make this thing possible? So we find out what the process is, and we may identify that there are real issues that your employees are facing, and there are real issues that your customers are facing, which won't make a workshop effective. We may need to do some journey mapping so you can see what the real issues are in your customer experience and fix those before we try to do a workshop to tell people about something when the problem still persists. So we have to think about that as well. So we are not just going to run ahead to do the workshop. We're going to try to find out what the actual problem is, and when we find what the problem is, we implement the correct solution. We don't want to just be taking your money to do workshops without knowing what the actual problem is. But as we started out with at the top, workshops are definitely necessary, and if you have a business and you want it to remain a going concern, there are some workshops that should become standard. So for example, we know that a lot of the financial calendar, I think it starts in September. I don't know, different companies have different calendars, but that's what I know. So say that is when your financial calendar starts. You should be saying, okay, at this time of year, because we normally have a lot of hiring at that time, this is a workshop that we need to be having at this time for all our newly onboarded staff members, so they get all the information they need to understand the customer experience that we want to offer at our company, where they fit into it, and something to help them to adjust to the culture that we are having in our organization. So of course, there are workshops that should be standard, and based on the calendar of your business, you should know when these things are going to happen. But in terms of trying to fix a problem that you're facing now, there is usually some work that needs to go into it before you have the workshop. Another benefit of having a company like Spike on retainer is that you won't have to be paying for these things all the time, because you would have been in a long-term business relationship, and you know that this is what is necessary at this time. It is totally customized to what your business needs, what your business wants, what the culture is at your company. So it is something that you can actually outsource to a company like Spike, and you won't have to be burdening your HR department with it, because we do see that a lot. As a matter of fact, we do have HR persons who reach out to us. We communicate with them about what they're doing. A lot of HR departments are really overwhelmed because they are expected to carry out the function of these workshops and other customer experience objectives, when in fact it's not really something that HR professionals are trained to do. They have their work that they know how to do, and trying to tack on a whole other business discipline onto that is sometimes overwhelming and often poorly executed, because it is not what they know best. So go to the people who know about the things you need to get things executed. These HR departments need to get spiked too. Tell them to call us. We are ready and waiting. But yes, the essence of what we're talking about tonight is just that we need to think more about the workshops. Think more about what it is you actually need, and don't be unwilling to listen to the professionals that you engage when it comes down to setting up a plan to actually move your company from your current state to your ideal state. Because as we said, it's a journey. You're dealing with people. You're usually dealing with culture shifts, culture changes. Changing things doesn't happen overnight, and you have to get people on board with what you are doing. So unless you have any, I wonder if you guys have any questions for me or concerns. I am here to answer them for you. Agreed. Yeah, agree, Yannick. You agree with Chin? Yes, as I was saying, we do have the customer service on social media workshop that's available on Wednesdays, and we do it online. And we keep it to a very small size so that persons are able to get full advantage of it. And our price in comparison to other persons in our field is extremely low. So I'd advise you to take advantage of it while it is that way. And one thing I want us to remember too, I mean, budgets are budgets and we're all in difficult times. But as much as is possible, I would try to suggest to businesses that no, it's not the time to skimp on your training efforts, because right now markets are most markets have shrank. Persons are holding on to their money because things are so uncertain. So the persons who are still spending and willing to, go ahead as they normally would, I mean, those persons are fewer and they have a lot of options, and people are paying attention to the service that they are receiving. And the service needs right now are very different. As a matter of fact, right now we do have a checklist that we are giving away. We'll soon send it out to the persons who are currently on our mailing list. But if you subscribe to our mailing list right now, it will automatically go to your inbox, and that checklist gives you all the information, what you need to be paying attention to for reopening, and how you need, what all the elements that you need to take note of. I think it's over 20 things that's on the list, and we give you some guidelines and all of that. So if you have not subscribed to our email list as yet, I would suggest that you go ahead and do that now by clicking the link in the bio, so you can get the checklist for free and take advantage of it. Of course, we are always here to answer any questions or concerns that you may have, especially if it is something that is specific to your business, because we're always aware that it's not one size fits all when it comes to businesses. So I'm really happy that you guys took the time to spend some time with me this evening, because there's a lot that we could be doing. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on Spike Chats again next week. All right, thanks everybody, have a wonderful night. Bye.